Hello everyone, my name is Vivek Rajaram Patkal. I'm the founder and director of EduMaster Online Tutoring Services. We have started an interview series in which we will be hosting some bright tutorpreneurs who have done it really very big in this tutoring industry. So today, as the guest of honor, we have Mr. Robert, who tutors English, writing, and social studies. He actually is really hardworking, very talented, and having the entrepreneurial spirit in him. So, Robert, welcome. Welcome to the interview series. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. Pardon the dog who may be barking in the background. Riley, you're all good. You don't need to worry about that. It's just the neighbors. I'm Robert. I'm in Seattle, which is on the west coast of the U.S., northwest, and our shop is called Ignite Tutoring. It's me and recently another great tutor who does more of the STEM side, Anjana Ravi, who actually introduced me to Vivek. So it's great to make this connection. And yeah, we do mostly supporting individuals with schoolwork and stuff, but we do some adult learners as well. We'll get some folks from different countries. We've got a lot of international folks who work in tech here, so sometimes I'll help them with English, kind of just the finer points of writing, and but mostly high school and middle school kids, and just school subjects, and college admissions, test prep, that kind of stuff. So Ignite Tutoring is the shop.
Yep. So you have the tutoring center called Ignite Tutoring. Actually,
Yes, we have our
our product, one of our product where we tutor foreign students, means abroad student, is called as Ignito Tutoring.
we're definitely not the only one. Yeah, that's funny because you sort of Google it and you try to find a name that nobody else has, at least in the same city, that no one has trademarked, but there's a few of them for sure.
Yep, yep. I actually tried searching a unique name. I wanted a unique name, so I came up with this name Ignite. Then I searched. There are a lot of people having the name Ignite. So I just made up some word in my mind, and it was fixed that I wanted a letter O. I don't know why I was so obsessed with it. So I wanted the letter
Very good.
O. So I just changed the spelling. I did it like IGNYTO. So Ignito Tutoring Services. This is our product for the students out of India. And Inspiro Tutoring is the product for Indian students. So it comes under the same company called Edu-Master Online Tutoring Services. So looking forward, like, let's see how it goes. Now, my first question to you is, tell us about your journey, like how you started and where are you right now in your tutoring journey?
Yeah, well, I'm probably still toward the beginning, but I taught in private high schools out east for like 5 years. Sort of this weird alternative pedagogy called Waldorf education that I'm not really involved with anymore, but it was sort of an interesting place to start. I kind of came up in it myself. I don't know, it's somewhat big in India, I think, more so in China. Um, but it's a weird one. It's kind of esoteric, and I don't know, there's some good things about it. So that was kind of where I cut my teeth, and I started doing the tutoring stuff a little bit out east, but there's no money there. Rural Vermont, it's like there's no point really. No one can pay for tutors. So I moved to Seattle and started. I wanted to go and work in public school, so I've been very slowly getting my public credentials, specifically for working with English language learners, because I really like learning languages and teaching languages. So I'm finally done with that now. I just finished it, but I did it sort of the cheap way. I'm very cheap, just part of the entrepreneurial thing. I don't like to pay money for things, although I've learned that there's things you can, when you're a business owner, everyone always wants you to sell you some product, right? Some advertising thing that doesn't work. So I've learned to
Yep.
be a very tight-fisted kind of guy. And so that extended to doing the sort of cheap program for getting my credential. So it ended up taking forever, and it was an interesting experience. I got to work in all sorts of different schools, and did some cool things along the way, like overhauling a financial literacy class at a middle school, which I never wanted to teach middle school, but the cheap program, like they have a need in Washington State for elementary literacy and English language learners teachers. And so that's the way that you could sort of get in the back door to certification. So that's the program that I did. So yeah, so I've been doing that, and while I was doing that to pay the bills, I was like, oh, I better take this tutoring thing a little bit more seriously. So that's a roundabout way of saying that's how I started Ignite. At first, I worked for some different shops, some online apps, some like little boutique agencies like around here, but I didn't find that most of them were a very good deal or, really respected kind of the professionalism of it. And so I struck out on my own, and really it's just a website. And, we added a few different, SaaS products to kind of do the scheduling, and just brought on Anjana as a partner recently, but it's really been a pretty small one-man shop for the most part. And I try to keep it so that I can sort of back burner it at any point. I'm a writer too. I'm shopping a novel right now. So I don't do it full time at all, but it's a good little side hustle, and maybe it'll scale someday. We'll see.
Yep, it will scale for sure. It will scale up. So now, the program you're talking about, was it regarding the tutoring only, or it was something else than tutoring? I could not get that point.
Yeah, totally else than tutoring. So like, it's actually I went to City University of Seattle to get my like state credential. So like to teach public school, and specifically to work with English language learners. So the kids that I teach in my day job right now, or sort of assist, are mostly immigrants, a lot of English learners in there. So that's pretty fun. It's been really tough on Zoom, but we're going back tomorrow. Actually, is my first day back in the building.
Oh. So because of the COVID, the schools are not closed there, or the
They
teachers
mostly
have
are, but they're starting to go back. So yeah, so teachers have all been vaccinated at this point for the most part. I have, thank goodness. And yeah, they're starting to try to, like, the younger kids have been back for a few days. Secondary students, which is our students, middle and high school, are going back after like next week, which is April break, but we're just going back for the next few days to like clean things up and, like set up classrooms, everything's, ventilation, the whole bit. So it'll
Yep.
be interesting. Yeah.
So what was your thinking process when you started your tutoring journey? What was going on in your mind that this is something that I want to do, and you left most of the things which you were doing before for starting tutoring? So what exactly was your thinking process?
Yeah. I mean, it was really kind of haphazard, right? I mean, I didn't really start out to be a teacher. I didn't really start out to be a tutor. I kind of like fell into it, and realized that I loved it. Mostly the teaching part. I mean, tutoring is fun, but it's like you're not. What I really love is planning out curriculum. So I think that, at some point I want to. So I'm trying to get back into full-time kind of school. But sometimes I sort of fantasize about, wouldn't it be fun to like build Ignite into like an online school that we could create our own curriculum and do that sort of thing. But so, there's some ideas simmering there, but that's what I really like. Is I'm a geek. I like to learn about stuff, and I do like helping kids, ace tests or whatever. But usually, like, I think what's satisfying about it for me is like being able to bring a little bit more like intellectual curiosity or verve to something. It's not, so that it's not just like, let's grind this out and get a grade or fix your problem, right? Let's actually try to get you interested in it and, discover some connection to it, which is sort of the Ignite branding, right? Has some kind of like thought behind that of, we have that often misquoted thing. It's the best attribution of it is Plutarch, the Roman philosopher, but it's this, meme that's everywhere in education circles, which is the mind is not a vessel to fill, but a fire to ignite. So that was kind of the thought behind it, right? That we're trying to spark curiosity in kids or in anybody. And that's kind of what we're in it for.
The thought is actually very good. Can you please repeat it? The mind is.
Yeah, so it's I mean, you've probably seen a bunch of versions of this, right? The mind isn't a bucket to fill; it's a fire to light, or one type. And it's been misattributed to a lot of different people. That no one's really sure who originally said it, right? But the best attribution that we have is Plutarch, the Roman historian, really. So that's kind of an interesting one that gets kicked around, and it's just sort of vanilla and familiar enough to people that we can, it makes a nice little tagline for a business, but I really do think it's it's kind of meaningful to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's absolutely holds a very meaning. It's a meaningful thought for sure. And is that your tagline for your business?
Yeah, it's on the website with a campfire with a bunch of kids with marshmallows around it. So we try to, not associate
Okay.
ourselves with the classroom too much.
Yeah. So, do you think there is something called right time for starting tutoring journey?
Gosh, I mean, there's a right time for you, I guess, right? Like for me, it was living in a new city and basically needing money and not really wanting to, you know, tutor for some shop that was going to take a 75% cut when all I needed was a website to do it on my own.
Mhm.
But yeah, so and I just I do, if you enjoy sort of the business side of it too, the entrepreneurial side, you can kind of get into all that. I mean, I don't love the marketing stuff, but I do. I don't know. I get into whatever is in front of me, so that's been actually kind of gratifying. So I think that there's a right time for maybe starting a business that's going to be different for different people. But in terms of just the tutoring side of it, yeah, I don't know. It's a good stopgap. It's a good thing to do while you kind of work on a credential. I mean, a lot of people do that, right? Grad students and stuff. Um, it's worked for me as a kind of a fill in. I mean, I wrote a novel while I was tutoring, right? And kind of kept the lights on. My partner's a labor organizer, so
Mhm.
she makes decent money. Working with interpreters right now, actually. So it's a very polyglot, kind of multilingual household here. We're on Spanish class or whatever over Zoom, but so that's fun. Yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, but yeah, I think it depends who you are and why you want to tutor. But for me, that's kind of what it was.
Yep, yep. Same as you said, the marketing part of the business, I also don't like it much, but you being everything of your own business, you have to do it. Marketing is the most important thing, I think, because doing the
Yeah,
sales is what is going to bring the money in the house. If there is no sales or no marketing happening, it's a little difficult for the business to strive and do better, because word of mouth works, but it works till a certain time, and it's not finite that the person whom we are tutoring is going to tell the other person tomorrow itself. He may take a month's time,
yeah,
he may take
for
6 months
sure.
time, and he can even tell the other person after 2 years as well. So
Hopefully,
it's
if they really remember you, right? How have
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys dealt with that? Do you guys have like a referral program, or how do you try to, I don't know, get your NPS up or get people promoting you?
Uh, Actually, to be frank, I have also just started like 5 6 months back, and till now we don't have any referral program. We
Hmm.
have
Us
got
either.
we got our students only due to the word of mouth publicity, because I was
Cool.
tutoring from the last 2 years, and the students or the parents who are taking services from us, they only refer us to other students.
Yeah.
Like they have referred us to it. Now we have started like a little bit guerrilla marketing, because short of funds, of course. So we are doing guerrilla marketing on Facebook. I
Hmm.
got around 3 to 4 inquiries from that, and I was able to
Yeah.
convert two in our favor from that.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds
So,
really similar, actually.
yep.
Yeah. Facebook oddly works, right? Parents spend a lot of time on it. It's hard for me to grasp because I can't stand Facebook and I just loathe being on there. To me, it's just like sort of a rage machine, right? And I really don't like it. But there's a whole like corners of it. Like I don't have kids and I don't plan to have kids. Like I love kids, but I have hundreds of them, So like I don't want them in my house eating my food. And yeah, so it's really interesting to realize like, oh yeah, like my cousin has kids who lives in Seattle, and she's on all these parent Facebook groups, and it's an entirely more wholesome corner of Facebook than like what I experience when I go on there and somebody like rage
Mhm.
posts about politics, and I'm like, God, get me out of here. um so yeah, so that's interesting, and we have Anjana's better at it than I am, but we have gotten some clients like through just posting helpful comments. Parents go on freaking out about something about their kid, like what do I do, and we just comment, and they see that we're a tutor, so then they just message us. It's a nice way to do it.
Yeah, the messages, then we have a talk with them. So how exactly are you focusing to get your clients?
Not enough. I've tried, Google and Facebook ads, paying taxes to the internet infrastructure. It has not worked for us. It's so hard to crack that code, and like I don't know, we spent a lot of money, and it's nice for tax purposes, but actually trying to keep it now, not actually do that. So yeah, I think the guerrilla marketing thing is cool. I'd love to chat more about that, kind of the granularity of it. Where do you post? How do you do it? But yeah, definitely we've just really started to get some real promoters. Like we have a woman who's talked to a bunch of friends about us, which is really nice. It hasn't, happened too much before, but just, I don't know. Um, hard to, when you're so small, it's hard to really like get into the whole marketing, like tips and tricks that are all out trying to sell you different strategies, because that's all based on like, tens of thousands of hits coming through a website and like, funnels and all this kind of stuff. It just doesn't really work for like a super boutique, like small business model like ours. And I mean, we try to like build relationships with schools. That's one thing. We've done a little bit of direct mail to private schools. Working in the schools helps. Definitely gotten some clients that way through just relationships with teachers and stuff. And you can't directly tutor kids that you teach because that's against the ethics code in schools here, right? As it probably should be. But you sort of, teachers who can refer clients like, hey, this kid is struggling or whatever. So that's been good. It's really about relationships and kind of just embedding yourself in the community and being helpful on social media, right? We're trying to be more active on Twitter and LinkedIn around that kind of stuff. But yeah, the like straight promotion stuff hasn't really worked well for us.
Yep. So this the ethics code, where you can't tutor this your students from your own school, but you can.
Well, students that you've worked with directly, it's like students from the school you could, but it's like if I am supporting a student in school and then I can't like offer them tutoring, do you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. But you can offer them to us as well, right?
yeah, no, we will make referrals sometimes.
Yeah. Means your ethics is also respected, and the business part is also done. Because the maximum number of students whom you are tutoring in the school know you, and they would like you to teach them. So you will be the first option they will ask for tutoring if they find any struggle in any particular subject.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like I wouldn't, it's nice to work as a substitute because you get relationships going with teachers in lots of different schools and like special ed programs and stuff. So that's definitely been a source of referrals for us. I don't know if you guys really cool it. New dog, sorry. I don't know if you guys like work in the schools or have, colleagues in the tutoring shop who like also teach, but it's an interesting kind of dynamic.
Yep. And don't worry about the dog, it's fine. We are all working from our homes. It happens. Now, uh, coming to the next question, what are some difficulties that you face when or are facing right now in your entrepreneurship journey? Are there some difficulties you would like to share?
Yeah, I think, for me, like I'm pretty ADHD in my own personality. I'm never like that. I shouldn't diagnose myself, I guess, but I think like I'm sort of in that personality type of like, I like a lot of stimulation and a lot of different things going on. So, writing and teaching and, investing. And I have too many irons in the fire at all times. So that's my big challenge with the business, which is why it's great to have, other sort of entrepreneurial types on there. So, hopefully we'll slowly kind of build up enough of those and we can maybe, turn it into a partnership or something someday so that I don't have to like be doing everything because I'm not particularly, it's not, it's not easy for me to sort of be the, I don't really want to be doing everything for any one particular line of business where I have like all these different things going on. So that's kind of my
Yep.
challenge, but I don't know. It is who I am. So I just try to accept it.
Yep. Actually, you and me share the same page regarding the ADHD behavior. I also like keep on my mind keeps on jumping from one place to another place. Means it's not like that it goes out of the business, but whatever comes to mind, I just try to bring it in the business. It's
Yeah.
uh, like I tutor like 5 to 6 hours a day. Sometimes it's even 8 hours, and
That's awesome.
then making interviews, editing them, and doing the guerrilla marketing stuff and all. So the first month only I thought, oh, this is not my cup of tea. I cannot do many things which I want to do. As the website and all, I just don't know how to do it, and I don't want to learn also how to do it. So I just hired people to do that for me. So currently we are having a team of around 7 people, out of which 5 are tutoring for us and 2 are non-tutoring staff. So one of them is the content writer and the other is the social media manager, like who manages
Oh,
everything
wow,
for
cool.
website development and all. So from the first time itself, I thought it's not my cup of tea, and let's hire them because uh, I cannot bang my head everywhere. In short, and if I keep banging, it will have a very bad effect on everyone who is connected with the team. So I like to keep.
Yeah,
I actually want to keep it like go into a clear way, but rarely happens. Some of the other things come in, and things get messed
yeah,
up.
yep, for sure.
So now, coming to the next question, what, according to you, is the importance of a good team?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think I could probably speak to that a little bit more from kind of school context. I've been on a couple of really good teams in my life educationally. Actually, some of them, one of them was a school, and some of them have been like nonprofits, like working with youth in sort of out of school settings. Um, I wouldn't, I think Ignite's just starting to be that, right? It's two of us, and we do work quite well together. But I think that we're still kind of building that culture, right? It's not quite there yet, but so there's it's not really a team of two. Um, but I do love working with colleagues, and that's a lot of what I miss in the pandemic. Actually, is kind of the water cooler talk, about students, and you get a lot of insight from that at school. So yeah, just the ability to sort of think together, and it's often not in like the formal meetings, right, which are often a waste of time, but in that kind of informal conversation where you can kind of come to some breakthroughs with difficult students or something, right? Like what's going on for this kid, just trying to talk it out.
Yeah, that's actually very important. We focus our business towards the welfare means wellness of the child, and we empower the child because not we, everyone should actually empower the child because we actually don't know what that child is going to do in his future. So empowering him, I think, is the best thing we as a teachers or the tutors can do, as you said correctly. Now, what were the initial reactions from your clients and colleagues when you started your tutoring journey?
um I don't really remember, yeah, if anyone. Oh, I guess I did have some colleagues who probably like wrote nice things about me on Yelp, do me a favor only to get them pulled down by the algorithm, right? So that's one thing. Some former students I had in school did the same thing, and that you just can't keep a Yelp review up, it seems like, unless you're, I don't know, a restaurant, you're getting 10 of them every week. But so I gave up on that one. But yeah, people were definitely supportive, and it definitely helps to come out of some other educational framework, because you can sort of like show some sort of social proof, or like that you're somehow qualified, even if you don't actually have a lot of credentials. But I mean, I have more now than I did when I started.
Yep, we actually need something to start at least. Some credentials means it's not needed, but for us to feel confident and start out, we feel we feel it's actually a very big step. Your clients and colleagues supported you. Many tutors which I have interviewed, like their clients and colleagues were having a very different perspective. Even my colleagues and my own parents, they're like, why are you doing this? Till when is it going to be on, or like how exactly is this going to help you in
Yeah,
future? Now you are having students next year. What about next year? What about after 2 years? I say it's a business, like every other business. There will be ups and down, and if you stay for 3 years in some field, the field takes care of you. I have that thinking in my mind. Like if you give 3 years to some
mm,
field, that field takes care of around 30 years. The food and the shelter is taken care by that field only. It's according to me and what I have observed.
mm,
So now,
yeah.
have you done any mistakes in your journey that you regret right now in tutoring journey?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like following up with leads has been something I'm trying to do better. People who reach out and then don't follow up, that often happens. And we're not like trying to hard sell anybody on anything, but like I think parents get harried and they reach out and then they just sort of say, oh, screw it, they're not sure. They just get distracted, right? They get busy, especially here in Seattle. I think that it's you get a lot of that. So following up with people is something we're working on doing better. We had our first school contract recently, which was relatively short lived, but I think it was amicable. But I think that we learned some things there in terms of how to. We're sort of like building the ship as it was sailing, right? And I think we have some systems in place now for schools. Hopefully, that'll make it easier to onboard another institutional client. And I mean, there's tons of things, like there's a lot of marketing services I wish I hadn't paid money for, right? Mostly just Google and Facebook, but your Yelp too, it just has not worked for us. So I would definitely, think about trying to figure out like ways to leverage your networks rather than paying internet taxes for those kind of ads,
Yep.
unless you're
Ad
trying to run a scale business.
Yes. The ads are like paying for Facebook and Google ads. I think it works when you have a very high budget, marketing budget, and you have to
Yeah,
keep on posting, keep on posting about it. So I would suggest you that you start doing guerrilla marketing. It will help for sure, and it's better you hire someone for doing this job. Yeah,
yeah,
it's actually very boring.
totally. Yeah, maybe
pasting
someday.
pasting the our own ad for hundreds of groups. Like my ad gets posted in 100 groups at least in 15 days. So, and you have to copy everything, you have to paste the photo in every group wherever you want to represent yourself. And it's not like that. The
Yeah,
bigger the group, the lesser time you stay up above in the new feeds, like 10 seconds. Some groups you'll be just thrown down in around 5 seconds as well, because there are a lot of people posting a lot of things.
yeah,
So it depends, and Facebook guerrilla marketing will surely help you, means help getting clients for you, because you do have a very good what we call that, testimonials you have, the client base which initially you had is also good, your website is also pretty good, so people will
yeah,
surely roll in. And there are always people looking for good tutors. It's like people keep some people think, like I often come across these comments like, uh, there is so much competition, how will you get the students, and how is it possible for you sitting in India getting the clients from US? I said it's, yeah, it's difficult, but it's not impossible, because if there is a huge mango tree, the mangoes are fallen down, we go with our own basket. However, how much we can carry, we will carry. How much other
yeah,
person is going to carry, he will carry it. And it depends, like everyone has their own type of clientele, and the frequencies will match for certain type of clients as well. So it's not about the competition, I guess. It's about how we think about it and how we react and go forward about it. So now, coming to my next question, this question is very close to my heart. I love asking this question to all the tutors. Did you ever feel like giving up?
yeah. And in fact, I have sort of backburnered it for a time, like where I've just haven't really been putting much into the business and just kind of like, letting it sit. Which it's nice to be able to do that. But I mean, it's, we don't really have any fixed costs, right? So like I am able to kind of give up almost without like actually giving up, without taking down. I mean, I'll never like take down the website. It's like $200 a year. You might as well keep it up, right? I use it for other things too. So
Mhm.
um, yeah, but yeah, definitely. I mean, there's times that I'm like, I don't want to do this, like I want to do something else. So yes.
Yeah,
How about
I
you?
like to ask this question is like, because I feel giving up so many times in a week, almost every day we can say, like I just feel that there is a constant urge in my heart and my mind that, oh, you need to work harder. You need to do some more work. You have to edit the videos. You have to write some blogs. You have to do this, do that. And just my body says, what, sleep, man. Sleep, just sleep. And after I wake up from the sleep, it's again feels like, oh, you didn't do any work. Although I'm tutoring, I do tutoring, I do what is necessary, so the business keeps on flowing. But it's, I think, my thoughts only that makes me feel low. Most probably it's that only, that it makes me feel very low most of the times, like almost every day also we can say. But I think it is a part of tutorpreneurial journey. When days will start moving in front, like when the time comes, I think this will become an indivisible part. We will just accept it and we'll just move forward, I guess.
Yeah,
So
that's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
yep, yeah, because
It's
I
kind of,
have observed that the thought are not leaving me. It's like the giving up thought is not leaving me, and I cannot give it up because nobody said me to do this. It's my own choice, and with choice comes responsibilities. They say with power comes responsibilities. Here with choice
yeah.
comes power and responsibilities with it. So it's our own choice that we have choose this. And I hope we will do better. Not soon, not
Yeah.
too late, but as the time proceeds, for sure we'll go with the swing.
Yeah.
Now, according to you, how difficult is scaling up the business?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I think that like, especially if you don't have outside capital, it's hard to scale in the way that that's meant, especially today, right? You see all these little kind of SaaS companies. There's just so much money out there. Like, there's tutoring solutions that clearly have just been that there's just been VC kind of dumped into them, and they, you know, ramp up quickly and have a bunch of people on the platform. And some of it's, I never know how quality that stuff is, but um, that's certainly not anything that's an option for us, or that I would really want to seek out or would know how to seek out. But yeah, I think like it's the idea of buying clients right through online advertising has not really worked. So I think that it's for me, I've kind of settled on like a slower kind of organic growth strategy, like finding people who, bringing on more team members. I think there's like some like virtuous cycle that started, like just having a STEM person on the team that like more than doubles the number of clients that we can get, right? If you're just humanities and social sciences, it's like a pretty limited niche. And I think that, just having more than one sort of entrepreneurial minded person thinking about it and putting stuff out there, and, just trying to delight the customers every day is, there's a lot of like almost unexpected oomph that comes from that, where it's not just like adding another tutor, but you sort of got, yeah. So like, I basically just want to like make really considered additions to the team, people who are really going to bring that kind of intangible value
Yep.
to it. And I think that the scaling will kind of take care of itself if we can do that, if we can get those people right. So
Yes, I actually completely agree with this, with you on these points, because scaling up, like as you said, the VCs are there. I actually have some seed investors, means those are the parents of the students only whom I have taught. So they are very interested. They have put me the proposal so many times that we will invest in your startup, do whatever you want to do, because I have been working with them from around 1.5 2 years, so they know me inside and out. So they said that, do Vivek, whatever you want to do, we'll just seed invest it. But I took some time. Last year I was in a hurry, so I said, okay, let's start. We were starting for a physical academy here only, but due to COVID it did not open. And I think COVID was good also and bad also. It was bad for me because the academy did not start, and it was good for me because my online company started because of it was there. So having a good team before taking any investor it's actually the best thing we can do right now, because I am also currently at the same stage. I do have some seed investors ready. I am just thinking that I should get ready initially. I should take a time of at least 1 year to figure out how
Yeah.
this business actually works. Because if we are taking someone's money, uh, we have to answer him, whether it's monthly or whether it's
Yeah.
quarterly. We have to
Yeah.
answer him what is happening in the business. And investors, like all the VCs and all, it's just like burning cash. They just give you
Yeah.
loads of money and you just do marketing everywhere, everywhere. Now there are some
Yeah.
unicorns in India. I see their ads on almost all the platforms.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yep, there is someone called Byju's, then there is Vedantu, then there is White
Hmm.
Hat Junior. So these three, four companies are there who are who have put their ad on every platform. It's like
Hmm.
I tried for going for, what was that name, Kijiji. Have you tried putting ad on Kijiji?
No.
Okay, please write it down. It's Kijiji. It will
Kijiji.
help
Oh
you.
yeah, I feel like I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yep. Kijiji also will help you out in getting some clients. What is something that you would like to tell a new person who is entering into this tutorpreneurship journey, or who in his mind thinks that he can do better at tutoring? So what is something that you would like to tell him or her?
Gosh. I guess. I guess I would say, like, if you're starting out, your own shop, like building systems and keeping it, I guess just thinking about what your actual needs are and like being a little bit skeptical of different, you know, um, prepackaged solutions. Like it took us forever to find like the scheduler and billing thing that was like really right for us. There's just so many of them out there. So like really shop around for that stuff. And like you have to get a little bit obsessed with it. But I think the goal for me anyway was like to get things that really allowed it to sort of be automated and to kind of to make the day to day of it less tedious, because I just know myself and I'm not gonna, I'm working a day job. I'm not like really trying to quit it. I like teaching in schools. So it's kind of a glorified side hustle for me that like I could scale up at some point. So I guess it depends on your goals, right? Like if you're trying to immediately grow into it or do it full time, it might be different, right? But for me, like my advice to someone who's trying to do like a side hustle type of thing is like keep it simple, right? Like KISS, like keep it simple, stupid, like figure out what you really need to make it run, and then try to work within that as much as possible and not get sort of like distracted by shiny objects, right? That may or may not be right for you. And just like focus on the clients, focus on like, you know, your network and kind of what you're tutoring, what you're passionate about, right? And conveying that sort of enthusiasm, for the subject to clients, because parents respond to that and kids respond to that.
Yep, it's absolutely correct. Client and the customer satisfaction is the most important thing we need to take care of. So if there is some student or some parent or some tutor who wants to learn from you or take your services in the coming time, how would they be able to contact you? I will also be sharing your contact details in my description of the video. Can you please let us know about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for that. So yeah, we're at ignitetutoringseattle.com. And actually, if you want to, we'll do a little referral from the podcast. We have a link service so we can kind of tell where it came from, and give you some props for anyone you send our way. It's let's do ignitetutoring.online/Vivek. So I have to make that link, but we have a great little thing that makes links so we can see who's linking to us. It's always
Yep.
helpful. So ignitetutoring.online/Vivek. Check it out.
Yep.
We'll give
That
you
will
a
actually
give you a
be
little discount.
that will be actually very kind of you. But as me also running my own company with the team of tutors, it, the lead will only come to you when someone asks Robert. Otherwise, I'm not giving you
Yeah,
lead.
yeah. Yeah. No, of course. I just like to know like who's watching the podcast, right? And if
Yep,
it's
yep.
what that kind of thing. So
I was just joking. Okay, I was just joking. I'm going to put the link.
No, of course. And
Okay.
we'll certainly put this out on our channels as well. I mean, we don't have a ton of social followers, but we'd love to get folks watching the podcast and
Yep,
sort
for
of
sure. So it was
aware of
really
different
nice
audience.
talking to you, Robert, and hope I will see you soon to have more
Yeah,
knowledgeable
totally.
interviews like that. So thank you
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks so much for putting this together. It's fun to hear, other people's struggles, even though I did most of the talking. It's nice to hear about you guys as well. And kind of,
Yeah,
just
thank
know
you
that we're
so
not
much.
alone doing this kind of thing.
Yep. Thank you so much. So bye bye, Robert.
Cool.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Vivek. Yeah. Have a good morning. See ya.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah. Bye now.